Welcome grade 5s to WorksheetCloud.com's online lessons. I'm Mrs. Nicole Frank and we're going to be doing some English home language. For this lesson, you are going to need a page, pencil or pen to write down some things that we're going to be doing together in this lesson. It is going to be different from our previous lessons as it's going to be a bit more practical. So I hope you got your hands ready and your minds working because you're about to have some fun. If you have any questions about this lesson and things that you feel I haven't covered or you're confused about, please send me an email to grade5@worksheetcloud.com. We will try to get back to you as soon as we can after this lesson. If your parents have any queries, please refer to the FAQs at this website. So today we are focusing on grade 5 language in context. So in the previous lessons we were looking at different parts of speech and things like verbs or adverbs and specific parts of speech, and this lesson is different in the fact that we're going to use the knowledge that we've learned and we're going to use it in context, so in a paragraph. Okay, so what I'm going to show you in the next slide what the outcomes of this lesson should be. But before we get there, I just want you to have an idea that yes, language can be done separately, but most of the time when you are given an assessment, they do it in context. So the outcomes of this lesson. I want you to be able to identify the various parts of speech, identify sentence structure in a paragraph, and to be able to punctuate a sentence or a paragraph. So that is the three things we're going to focus on in this lesson. Let's recap. Parts of speech. So before I go on, I want us to just let's take a few steps back and remember what parts of speech are and how we can identify them in sentences. Okay, so a noun is a naming word. Okay, they give names to people, places, things, companies, etc. Verbs are action words, so it tells us what the subject of the sentence is doing. An adjective describes a noun. So it basically gives us more information about the noun, tells us what the noun is wearing, what color the clothes are, etc. Adverbs modifies a verb or an adjective. So this also is like a describing word, but it gives us a bit more information about the doing word in the sentence, or alternatively, the describing word in the sentence. Prepositions are where one thing is in relation to another. So it basically tells us where the subject is in relation to the object of the sentence. So under, over, behind. For example, Nina walks to the shop. To would be my preposition. Nina climbs under the table. Under would be my preposition. Conjunction over here joins two sentences or words. Okay, so when we have two separate sentences that we can possibly make one, conjunctions join those two sentences together. In that way, we can have one sentence instead of two. How to identify these words? They are, for example, like and, so, but, because. Pronouns, they replace a noun in a sentence. So instead of saying Susan bought Susan a packet of chips, we can now say Susan bought her a packet of chips. Okay, so the word her replaces the noun Susan in that sentence. Examples of pronouns are her, his, she, my, I. Okay, those are examples of pronouns. And then at the bottom over here, we have articles, and we have two types of articles. I'm going to move out of your way over here. So we have two types of articles. We have the, which is a definite article, and then a and an, which are indefinite articles. But for the purposes of this lesson, we're only going to focus on the word article. Okay? Right. Let's move on. So language in context. Here over here we have a paragraph. So I'm going to read the paragraph with you, and then we're going to look at some questions based on this paragraph, okay? So, work to dream. Tim enjoyed playing soccer. He dreamed of becoming a soccer player when he grew up. The problem was that his family did not have much money. Tim knew that he had to work extra hard in school so that he could achieve great results. If he had great results, he could get a bursary to study sports science. So that is our paragraph, grade 5. The first thing I want us to know is that it is a paragraph, okay? Paragraph is a group of sentences that have the same idea, okay? So basically our first sentence would be the topic sentence, okay? And then all the sentences that come after it would be supporting sentences. And that's how we build our paragraph. At a later lesson, I'm going to be teaching you how to write a paragraph. But for now, I'm showing you what a paragraph looks like. And we're just going to be playing around with what is in a paragraph, okay? Sentences begin with a capital letter. So I want you to look here. Tim enjoyed playing soccer. Tim is the beginning of my sentence, but it's also a proper noun. So we can see that it starts with a capital letter. But if you look at the second sentence, he dreamed of becoming a soccer player when he grew up. He is a pronoun. And at this stage, we know that because he is in the beginning of a sentence, it will be a capital letter. So I'm going to make a little line around here. Okay. My sentences always begin with a capital letter. Here we go. Tim is a proper noun. So I'm going to underline Tim because Tim is a proper noun. So no matter where Tim falls in the sentence, it will always be a capital. He will always have a capital letter with his name. Okay. And then if over here, also starting my sentence. Okay. So for now, we have now identified the beginning of where our sentences begin. And we know now that they all start with a capital letter. To breathe in a sentence, we need to place a comma. So as you can see, there are a few commas in this paragraph already. And that tells me that we breathe at that place. So let's put this in a different color so we can identify our commas. So we have a comma over here before so, and we have a comma here by results. Okay. So Tim knew he had to work extra hard in school, okay, so he could achieve great results. If he had great results, he could get a bursary to study sports science. So the commas now tell us that we are taking a breath in that sentence. I hope you're all with me. And then paragraphs begin with a topic sentence. So earlier I made note of that a paragraph begins with a topic sentence, and then we have our supporting sentences after that. So our topic sentence would be over here, and then our supporting sentences would follow and support the topic sentence. I'm going to leave this on for a little bit so that you can just get an idea of how this paragraph works. I'm going to read it to you again because in the next on the next slide we're going to be actually working with a paragraph and how placing punctuation, etc. So for now, let's just read this again so we can see what we need to know for the next slide. Tim enjoyed playing soccer. He dreamed of becoming a soccer player when he grew up. The problem was that his family did not have much money. Tim knew that he had to work extra hard in school so that he could achieve good results. If he had great results, he could get a bursary to study sports science. Okay. So, parts of speech in context. In the previous slide, there were a few words that were underlined, okay? I don't know if some of you noticed that. So those words, I wanted you to find the part of speech of those words. So I'm going to put the paragraph back up again. And you can see now the words that were underlined were dreamed, soccer, Tim, to, so, he. Okay, but what is important about this particular activity is that it isn't I'm not asking you to take the words completely out of the text and say, please tell me the parts of speech of these words without any context. You have to give me the parts of speech in the context, because what happens is the function of the word might be different in context than it would have been without the context. So let's take the words out, but remember we need to focus on the context of the paragraph. Okay, so here are the words that are underlined in the paragraph. They are dreamed, soccer, Tim, to, so, he. Okay, here are my words on the side over here. And then I have already taken out what the possible parts of speech could be. But I'm going to leave it on here for like a few seconds for you just to kind of think about what parts of speech they are and what parts of speech they could be. And then I'm going to put them on, but I'm going to mix them up and then we can kind of match them together. Okay, so here are my parts of speech, the ones that I know the answers to those questions. But what I've done is I've mixed them up a bit so that we could play a game and we could figure out which word goes where. Okay, I'm going to use a different color again. Right, let's do this. So dreamed, grade 5s. Dreamed would be what part of speech? We can ask ourselves, is it a naming word? No. Can I dream? Yes. So, therefore, it must be a verb. So, we got our first one already. And we're going to draw a line to verb. I'm going to give you a few seconds for you to write this down and draw your lines and match them up before I give the answers. Okay, let's go on to soccer. Soccer should be a common noun, right? But I don't see a common noun here. So let's read the sentence where we find soccer. He dreamed of becoming a soccer player when he grew up. A. Soccer is not used as a common noun in the sentence. What is this word used as? Okay, let's see. Can I soccer? No. It's not naming anything. So the word player in the sentence is basically a common noun. So the word soccer is actually telling me more about the word player. It's telling me what kind of player you want it to be. So soccer is an adjective. This is what I wanted you to see, grade 5s, because if I had to take soccer out of the sentence completely without the context, you would have said common noun. But this word is not a common noun. In the context, this word is an adjective. I hope you will understand that. So I'm going to repeat it again, okay? Soccer would usually have been a common noun if I had to take it out of context and just say, give me the part of speech of the word soccer. But in the sentence, the word soccer is now telling me what kind of player Tim wants to be when he grows up. So therefore, it's describing the word player, and it is an adjective. The word Tim, we all should know this by now, is a proper noun. It's the name of someone, starts with a capital letter. Okay? Two in the sentence, let's see. Tim had to work extra hard in school so that he could achieve great results. To tells me where Tim is in relation to what he needs to do. To, therefore, is a preposition. Put my answer in over there. So, okay, so I'm going to read the sentence where so is in. Tim knew that he had to work extra hard in school so that he could achieve great results. So is over here, okay? And I can see that if I had to look at it, Tim knew he had to work extra hard in school. I could possibly have made that one sentence, okay? He could achieve great results, could have been my other sentence. So therefore I can see that so is a conjunction, and the conjunction's right here on top. So let's just get that there. So is a conjunction. Okay. And then my last one is he. He could achieve great results. And he replaces a noun in a sentence. So therefore it is a pronoun. And those are my answers. Grade 5. I hope that you got the same thing because we basically did this together. I wanted you to see how we could use language in context, or at least identifying parts of speech in context, and how it can be different from doing it when you're just given the words. But when it's in a paragraph, you need to actually read the paragraph to see what the function of that word could be in the paragraph. I hope you enjoyed that. So now we're going to move on and we're going to punctuate a paragraph. I'm going to move myself under the WorksheetCloud logo. Okay. Pencil or pen page ready. Here we have our paragraph. I'm going to read the paragraph for you. So that you can get an idea of what exactly we're going to do with this paragraph. Tim studied all his subjects every day. He focused mostly on mathematics, but he loved going over natural science. He thought that if he did well at school, he would never need to quit soccer. Tim's mom always told him that if he didn't pass his subjects, they would not allow him to play anymore. Wow. Grade 5s. Wow. There are minimal punctuation marks in this paragraph, if any. And as you could see when I read that paragraph, I struggled to breathe. Okay, so we already know that we need our punctuation marks to help us breathe in a paragraph and sentences. Okay, and the other thing that's important is you can actually see how untidy or how confusing this paragraph looks. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we are going to punctuate this, and I'm going to give you a few moments to write this down. If you don't want to write this down and you just want to watch, that's fine too, but I would like us to do things in practice. So if you could write this down quickly, and then we can actually do this together. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do so. Okay, so yes, I know probably some of you aren't done writing, but I don't want to keep you waiting or keep you bored for too long. So let's just look at our sentence, okay? And I'm going to use red as my color, because you know how much our teachers love red when we're marking things. Okay, let's use red and let's begin. So first thing, let's focus on the very beginning before we go on. We know that sentences begin with a capital letter, but besides that, Tim is also a proper noun. So we already know that Tim must be a capital letter. Wait, let me erase that quickly because that makes it look like an I. Okay, so I'm going to underline Tim there because now we know that that needs to change, okay? And that needs to be a capital letter T. Right, studied all his subjects every day. He focused mostly on mathematics. So, Tim studied all his subjects every day. I can now see that that should be a full stop over there, okay? I should have a full stop over there. So let's see if I can make this full stop a bit bigger so you can see. Okay, so I need to have a full stop over there. If there's a full stop over there, I now need to know that this word has to start with a capital letter because it's the beginning of a sentence. So it has to be he, okay? Focused mostly on mathematics, but he loved going over natural science, okay? So he focused mostly on mathematics. Yeah, before the but, I must know that there must come a comma, okay? My comma looks terrible, so let me take that comma away. Okay. And we can go back to our correcting. So we now can see that there must be a comma there. Okay. And then, but he loved going over natural science. He thought that if he did, okay, but he loved going over natural science. So again, yeah, I can see this is the end of a sentence. I can put my ugly full stop there. And this must be a capital H. He thought that if he did well at school, he would never have to quit soccer. He thought that if he did well at school, I can feel a breath over there, so I can put a comma there. He would never have to quit soccer. So soccer again would be an end of a sentence for me, and I need to put in a full stop. Tim's mom, again, Tim with a capital T. His mom always told him that if he didn't pass his subjects, they would not allow him to play anymore. Hey, that doesn't look or sound right. Okay, so before I go on, I know that there must be an apostrophe here. And now I must have an apostrophe here. But it would be nice if I drew the apostrophe a bit neater. Okay, so between the M and the S must be a little apostrophe over there. Mom always told him that if he didn't, okay, there I can see there's a spelling error over there. Apostrophe must come there, and I need to add in a T over here. If he didn't pass his subject, they would not allow him to play anymore. Okay, so if he didn't pass his subjects, again a comma there, they would not allow him to play anymore. So I know that at the end here I must have a full stop. Okay. But here is a bit of a weird thing going on here. Tim's mom always told him that if he didn't pass his subjects, past is wrong. Past is like past tense. So this word is spelled incorrectly. T must come away and it must be an S. They told him if he didn't pass his subjects, they would not allow him to play anymore. So, there are so many grammar errors in this paragraph. Can you spot them? Yes, we could. We could see where the grammar errors were. Right, I already explained to you that you have to take out a page to write out all the errors that you could find. And I gave you a little while to complete them. Right, so we are going to move on now and see if we were right in the way we worked out what the mistakes were in this paragraph. The answers. Right. Tim studied all his subjects every day. He focused mostly on mathematics, but he loved going over natural science. He thought that if he did well at school, you'd never need to quit soccer. Tim's mom always told him that if he didn't pass his subjects, they would not allow him to play anymore. As you can see over there, over there, that we have corrected all the mistakes that there were in the paragraph and we placed in our punctuation marks correctly. Well done, grade 5s. I just want to bring you across to these two words over here. Didn't and past. As you could see, I made spelling errors in those words. People are human and they're always going to make some mistakes. So the important part is to read over it and read over it, because like I did in the previous slide, I read over it until I realized, hey, there's something wrong about those two words. So if you can see that this doesn't seem right to you, read over it, because that means that you're going to understand or find a way to fix what you feel is wrong. So over here they said, how many did you get right? Well, you should have gotten all because I gave the answers. Have you met the outcomes of this lesson? Can you identify various parts of speech? Maybe there's a possibility that you couldn't or didn't understand all the different parts of speech. But luckily for you, there is a table at the beginning of this lesson, and you can tick this box whenever you have studied it all. Okay, so what you can do is you can write it out, paste it on your wall, and you can remind yourself about that whenever you have a chance. Parts of speech are kind of fun if you learn how to use them in a sentence, and you can write up your own sentences and then play a game, okay, and say, how many did you get right today? Identify sentence structure in a paragraph. We did that right in the beginning, but how we start the paragraph and how we end sentences, etc. And are you able to punctuate a sentence or a paragraph? Okay, and that's what we did in the end. I hope that you have met all these outcomes, which I'm ticking, but you can also tick them in the quiet of your home and see if you actually met the outcomes. If you haven't and you feel like there's something I haven't cleared up for you, please send us an email and we'll try and get back to you. So remember, you can send any questions about this lesson to grade5@worksheetcloud.com. Like I said in the previous slide, we will get back to you as soon as we can after this lesson, especially if there's something that you're still not understanding about this, okay? And an activity is provided for you after the lesson. So where you found this video, there are worksheets available that you can complete, and the memo is attached so you can see how many of it you got right. Grade 5s, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that I will see you or you will see me tomorrow. Have a wonderful day further. Goodbye.